So, a little late to the party here. Everyone's heard about this Commander banned and restricted announcement. If you lived under a rock, on Monday, Dockside Extortionist, Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, and Nadu all got banned in Commander, which is really weird because Commander historically is not a very ban-heavy format. So for them to take action was pretty weird as well, but also to take action specifically against 3 of the best fast mana things in the format was pretty unique. Now, I'm in favor of policing because I've made videos before where I've talked about how I don't like the paradox of Commander, how we're supposed to self-format, but we have a rules committee that has I basically want the rules committee to be all or nothing. I would like them to say, it's rule 0 all the way, everything's unbanned. Or to say, okay, well, we are going to be like, we don't want any fast mana, so ban everything. Kind of like they do in Dual Commander, where, yeah, they aggressively ban stuff. Like, I mean, recently, Ajani was banned as a commander because it was too good in Dual Commander. But, obviously, if I was to call a thing, I do agree actually with this bannings, because Nadu is basically a Paradox Engine style card. It goes off, but you don't know if you've won. You could still fizzle, so you have to play it out. Mana Crypt, Jewel Lotus, and Darkside are essentially a fast mana thing. I mean, it wrecks CEDH. We've got to see what... Well, CEDH just literally becomes a blue Thassa's Oracle based deck now. With Ristic Study, we go back to, maybe Kinnan can save everyone. But what I wanted to highlight here was, there was something, ignoring all of this, here it is. They've never took action before, but now suddenly they take out the fast mana. And they say specifically here, notably since Strixhaven, so going back to the first one, Commander has always been a potential for someone to get a fast start and arch-villain themselves and get brought back down. In the past few years, notably since Strixhaven, there's been a pattern of stronger mid-game cards that allow them to skip early turns and snowball their advantage straight to the win. And then they go on to mention how getting out like a 4 or 5 drop commander on turn 2 is becoming more and more problematic. But what stuck out to me was the mention of Strixhaven, because personally I love Strixhaven. So I thought to myself, what changed at Strixhaven? What was the tipping point that finally made the rules committee go, hey, we have to take action against fast mana? Because I never thought they would. And I believe it is because of Ward. Now, as you know, Ward was actually introduced in Strixhaven with the first cost. For those who don't know, Ward is the upgraded hexproof. I'm sure everyone knows, but Ward is basically, if you want to target something, you have to give it an additional cost. And as you can see here, since the printing, there's 107 cards with Ward on it. And these things range from everything from discarding cards, sacking permanents, giving up life, paying extra. Now, I think, as I've said before, that this has been what maybe pushed it over the edge. So if we look at some of the examples here of what I might be saying, so they specifically call out 5 and 6 mana commanders as a problem. Well, 4, 5, 6. And it is an interesting premise. But one of the things I would say is, for example, things like Rudbrick of Urberg. He has Ward 2. What I think they were trying to say and they didn't come across with is that they don't like the play pattern of fast mana ramping out a warded commander that will give value, knowing that you won't have interaction for it. Now you might have an edict, blah blah blah, whatever. But say you have, because that used to be the counterbalance. If your opponent went land, Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, next turn cast a 6-drop commander, you went cool, swords, brought them back down to earth, or you blew up the mana rock. You took action. I mean, one that jumps to my mind immediately was Voja. Voja was literally hasted as one of the worst ones to be seen because of the Ward 3, making it pretty much unkillable with spot removal. And Wizards have confirmed Ward is the way to go. I mean, in the most recent set, Volgarath, literally today, we got an updated ward of sacrificing 3 permanents to actually use him. Sorry, to kill him. So, that appears to be the tipping point here for what has been done. Another example here, Maha. Discarding a card. Yarok, you've got to sack a food. You've got to have a creature and have removal. This was also one of the reasons why Vein Ripper, where, you know, these are all in a mess. Let's sort them by color. It was a similar reason to what. Oh wait, Vein Ripper is not legendary. I was just looking at potential commanders here. Yeah. So, one of the examples was that Vein Ripper was banned in Pioneer because they said the odds of you having the removal on turn 3 for a similar situation. And ultimately it's the same thing. Wizard said, we're banning it because turn 3, dropping a Vein Ripper, you have to have a removal and the ward to pay for it. Basically, which was sacrificing another creature to target it. Which was pretty hard to do, and it basically got Sorin banned because of it. Sorry, not Vein Ripper. But that's what I think a lot of people have missed in this discussion. This is a graded... Ward is a better design mechanic because it allows you to invest into a creature and give it protection. Like I said, Ward is very much a best of one design mechanic. For example, here, Ren the Relentless. Wizards doesn't want you to pay 4 to put this guy out to just have an opponent just kill him with the 1 mana they had open. They want him to be forced to pay extra to do stuff and get it going. Obviously, it's more interactable than giving every creature hexproof or shroud, which should never happen. But that's it. So this is one thing I wanted to expand on and see if other people agree with me. Was the ban a response to Ward? Because they've mentioned that the problem with... Oh my god. When people learn to control their animal. That people... That's ultimately what I want to say here. I think these bans of the fast mana were a response to Ward. Because Wizards have shown this is a design thing they're going to go in. Ward is being slapped on random stuff now. Like, it's not just like a wizard protecting it, like, you know, a Lizard Artificer with a force field. It's going into other things like, you know, Shelob giving all other spiders hexproof. This is proactive Ward. Yep. And, you know, enchantments to give all your creatures Ward. Ward is going to be the design mechanic going forward. So I think what Wizards, what the rules committee have done is said that the more and more mid-tier, mid-level, mid-CMC 4-5 cost creature, legendary creatures we get with mana, Ward abilities, the harder it's going to be for people to interact, which I agree with. I just find it hilarious that that's the ultimate reason. Now, I know some people have their different conspiracy theories. One of the biggest ones I've seen is people saying that this is the RC giving Wizards like a slap on the nose, being like, no, stop printing strong mana stuff. I don't think it is. I think this is them going, Wizards are going to constantly print warded commanders, which are going to be harder to interact with, so to make it fairer, we've got to answer the fast mana. I mean, if that is the reason and people agree with it, I think that's insane to me. That which is kind of one of the funny things about the world to me, that the powered down protection mechanic might have pushed it over the edge and finally got the fast mana banned. So, like we said, that's what I want to say to people here. This is what this sentence means. Notably since Strixhaven. What changed since Strixhaven? Ward started showing up on your creatures. And yes, and for those of you who wonder, yes, immediately out of the gate, one of the first warded legendary creatures was a Commander Precon, showing what was going to happen going forward. So that's my thesis. Do you agree with that? Do you think these bans are a response to Ward, or do you think it is a slap on the nose to Wizards telling them to stop printing super strong cards? Let me know.